class. This is Mrs. Swavely-Ulloa, and I'm here today to walk you through all of the different tasks that you are to accomplish with your podcast project. So first and foremost, you want to make sure you go to our course, the correct course. Click through to get that done. At this point, you should know to complete your attendance task, check in for the agenda so you know what's going on each day. And then for today, or for the project, you want to go into Unit 3, the sniper. Then you want to head down to the assessments podcast project section. So at this point, you should have completed your podcast survey, but just in case you didn't do that, you want to make sure you complete that. It is a Google form, and you're just going to answer the questions and then make sure that, and I need to grade this one, but make sure that you take a screenshot and submit that. That way I can grade it. Then you're going to head on over to podcast name ideas. You're going to click on that and give me an idea with regards to names. So, what would you name your podcast if you had the chance to come up with your own official name? And then here are some examples of some podcasts that I follow and that I listen to in my free time. So, we have The Breakdown, Him and Her, Raising Good Humans with Dr. Eliza. Café con Chisme. We have the Latinx Mental Health Podcast, The Cult of Pedagogy, Oprah's Super Soul Conversations, and so on. All right, so those are some inspirations for the naming. So you want to give me your name right here. Then again, head back, and you want to then begin working on your like your template podcast like graphic. And how you will do that is simply go to canva.com, or you can download the app from self-service on your iPad. You can also do this on your phone if you're more comfortable working through your phone. You're going to go to Instagram posts, find a template that you like, or build one completely from blank. You're going to create a graphic that includes an original podcast title for you and your group members, or if it's just for you, then individually. When you're finished designing, you can download it. I think some students have had issues downloading it, so you can also just take a screenshot of it and submit that to this Dropbox. So I should see a screenshot without any boxes around it. Like if it's a box that's originally in the design, that's perfectly fine, but there shouldn't be anything highlighted that should not be highlighted. So just take a clean screenshot. So for example, here you would take just this box here and submit that into the Dropbox. All right, then moving on, you want to work on your template. That is going to be your script. And before you begin working on your template, you should have completed reading the sniper on Actively Learn, and you should have completed your plot diagram so that you understand the story and can follow with the script. Read the instructions. Do you prefer to work individually or in a group? Right? So you need to have answered this. And then based on that, you'll see in the podcast template that there will be 4 pages. So once you open it, and let me open it here. Once you open it, the first 2 pages will be for the individual podcasts. So like if you're going to work on your own, then this is the one that you want to do. If you're going to work in a group, then you're going to head on over to page 3, and this is where you're going to start. So if you're working on your own, delete page 3 and 4. If you're working with a group, delete page 1 and 2. That way you're not confused and you don't feel like you have to do all of these pages. You're only filling in 2 pages of assignment of work. All right, now here's an example so you can get an idea as far as what it is that you're doing. So this is an example of group podcasts. So we have Yasaida, Sabdiel, Jacob, Melvin, and here. And then they begin with their introduction. So Melvin starts, and notice how they put their names. So almost like following a play. They each have their names. That way they know, oh, this is Melvin's line. Oh, this is Yasaida's line. oh, this is Abdiel's line. So that way they can all follow with each other. So Melvin begins, and notice also how he embeds uh, some of the Spanglish. There's like more of his personality will show through his speaking. So he says, Hola, bienvenidos to the Five Latinx Who Speak Spanglish podcast. They have a very long name. My name is Melvin, and I am your host. Today I have special guests, Yasaira, Sabdiel, Jacob, and Yahir joining me. We will be talking about the story The Sniper, written by Liam O'Flaherty. And the whole group is in the background like, eso, like just hyping up the podcast and the listeners. Melvin then begins by saying, first, let's talk about the characters in the story. We want to know their names and a few facts about them. Yasaira, why don't you tell us who the characters are? You'll notice in the original script that I have ideas or blanks for you to fill in. You are welcome to tweak that to make it more personalized, but I want you to make sure that you are having conversations or you are speaking to us from a place of like, I know this story, I know what happened, I'm looking at this now and I'm analyzing each of the characters, giving characterization details, or maybe just one or two. You don't really have to talk about each character. Let me know that you know the setting and the importance of the setting, main events, and then strategies that you used for reading that helped you understand the story. So I jump right into this so that you can see. Melvin asks, before we end the show for today, did anyone want to share a reading strategy that they used to help them while they were reading the story? Yasaira says, I can share. One reading strategy I use that helps me is making predictions because it helps me preview and understand what the story will be about. Then he says, finally, what did you guys think about the ending? So, in the script, I said you want to include opinion based questions. That's a perfect question because the ending was so dramatic and so unexpected, and it had such a twist to the plot. So you want to include that in your discussion because it's certainly a topic that people are going to talk about. So notice Yasaida responds, Abdiel, Jacob, and they're not finished yet. I think Yahir has to fill in some parts, but then at the end, you'll see you're right. I didn't expect that. I have more questions. I wish I would have known more. Anyways, that's a wrap, guys. Gracias for joining us for today's episode. And hablamos ahorita. So, excellent script created by this group of students. And then they're going to go back to the assignment and make sure that they've clicked submit here so that I can read their draft. The other thing that you want to do in your podcast project is your recording draft. So here you're just going to open, you're going to have your script on one side, Schoology open on the other, and you're just going to record your parts. If you work in a group, your parts only are the parts that I need. If you work by yourself, then you're reading all of it. Um, and then I did have some information about Anchor and our podcasting platform, which I will share with you later. If you have any questions for me, guys, please, please, please don't hesitate to ask and reach out for support. But hopefully you can get this finished in a timely fashion. Remember, the marking period ends next week. All of these assignments for the podcast project will be due next week. Everything before the podcast project, so we're talking things from this unit, the sniper, is due today at 11:59 p.m. So that is Friday, January 15th at 11:59 p.m. So you want to make sure you go back and get these assignments done. The Quizlet, the About Me, About the Author, Foursquare, all of that needs to be done. And there are not many assignments. And then the last part, and I apologize for the background. My daughter's homesick, and I have my dog here lounging. Um, so then you also want to make sure you click both of these assignments and get those things done. All right, guys, let me know if you have questions. Good luck.